And welcome along, Rob Ellen in the Moose, the Medicine Show, Radio Moose Mobile. I'm very pleased to say at home in the Highlands again. Had such a fabulous time around Ireland and Wales, and thanks to everybody that we met around there. And thanks for joining us here tonight. Got Lazarus with us, Lazarus Nichols. Some friends, some friendly faces in the theme music. There would have been some folks you recognised.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's like you've been reading my mail.
Yeah. Lazarus, basically, for those that don't know, and you're soon to know, hopefully Laz will be coming this year. We're going to talk about that. But Laz is our kind of go-to guy in Austin, Texas. First person I landed with in Austin, Texas. And you and I did a little special warm-up gig for the South by Southwest.
We absolutely did.
Friends, didn't we? The night before the South in Bastrop, beautiful Bastrop, down there beside the Colorado River. Trying to remember the name of the Neighbors. Remembered it.
That's right. Neighbors Bar and Grill. I think we unofficially just east of South by Southwest, I think is what we call it.
So you made it just east of South by Southwest. Great time had by all. Laz, apart from being a singer-songwriter, you have, and we are the home of the house concert here on the Medicine Show, of course. You had one of the best house concerts I've ever had the privilege of being at as well for a fair while. And you used to do all this video stuff with them as well, didn't you?
Well, I'm so lucky enough as to be a kind of a working musician. I get to know a lot. I get to meet a lot of these guys, right? And what we found was Sunday was that day. These got musicians touring, and it's a hard day to book, and so it was a great opportunity. And other musicians, it's an opportunity for them to come listen to music because they're finally not at their own gigs. And so we were able, in Smithville, Texas, it was beautiful. It was lucky enough to just kind of like fit that place in for these guys if they were traveling through. We gave them a bed to sleep in and a meal on their way. And
and the barbecue on the back porch, and there was even a concrete piece there that the moose could just drive straight onto.
That's correct. So with the American moose, and even after Rob left town, the moose stayed for a few months. So we
it did.
That's right.
It did indeed. Yeah.
Someone just showed up one day and absconded it back to Canada. That's what I remember.
Yeah, it went away. It's still. Ruth sends her regards, and it's still holding together. And I'm hopefully after Belladrum, and hopefully you'll be with us for Belladrum. I'm going to go out and just check it all over and try and get some miles in Canada this year.
That'd be great.
As well. So that's the introduction. Everybody, thank you for joining us as well. Wherever you're with us, there is a chat frame on the page that you are with. And Mike, already we have a viewer in from Long Island, which is always exciting to get somebody from a place you've heard of but never been to. So hi. And thank you, Michael. Thanks for joining us. So let us know where you're viewing from this evening. And I think the best way to introduce Laz is with some music. And you've got a keyboard there tonight.
I actually do. So some of the folks that have been at Belladrum and will be there this year. One of those is a gal named Libby Koch, an amazing country western singer out of Houston, Texas, now Austin. And I was lucky enough to kind of she pulled me in on her Just Move On tour, and I got to play keyboards for about a year. And that was a very soft landing here when I moved from Cleveland to Texas. That's right.
Same time, And of course, Libby's well connected all over Texas, but particularly in Austin and Houston as well. And she's out at Bastrop now.
That's right. She's in Bastrop. All roads lead to Bastrop eventually.
It would seem so.
It does.
Would you sing us?
Absolutely.
Give us a song, lad.
All right. So we got someone from New York here. This is one of mine. This is a tune called "The Last Great Dharma Bum." I found myself in California. I could hear hunters receding wave. I could hear Kerouac say, "California,
Spend some more on you. When no one cares who you say. So I dream myself running back to California, America's favorite son, wearing a Kool-Aid smile, doing my best at Heartland. The last great Dharma bum. I find myself on Beale Street, walking with ghosts, swearing all's to Beale Street. How that back be? You know, I think I love you the most. I dream myself right on down the Mississippi, all the way to the sea. St. Paul to New Orleans with a stop in Memphis for the ghost of those. And whatever remains of me, I find myself in Times Square, the neon so bright, blinded by the lights of Times Square. Won't you say a fool's prayer? Because maybe I'll make it through the night. Well, I dream myself I'm standing right beside her, defending freedom's flame. Well, and if I die, fade away in glory, won't you remember my name? So if I die, or fade away in glory, please remember my name. Please remember my name.
All right, last great Dharma bum.
Thank you. That's coming through loud and clear. I think you can never really tell. We've got reasonably good internet tonight, so it seems to be fine this end, and no complaints on the chat frame window as well. But if anybody could let us know how it's sounding at your end, that would be fabulous. Michael has more on Libby. Libby's the connection here as well. Promoted an album for her a number of years ago and arranged for her to perform here in Long Island. So it looks like Michael's a bit of a catalyst as well. Well, so is Libby, of course. But yeah, thanks, Michael. Thanks again. And thanks for your service as far as music is concerned. We should hook up and see what else we can do afterwards as well. Always open to ideas here on the Medicine Show. Always trying to support independent artists, independent venues, community festivals, house concerts in particular. And we'll be trying to get Lazarus some house concerts and gigs when he arrives here, hopefully for Belladrum. So you're hoping to have an album out by Belladrum time, which is the end of July and is our big event of the year, and has really grown to the biggest cultural event of the Highlands now after 20 years. What's the album? Tell us more about this.
Absolutely. So it kind of came, as a songwriter, we try to, constantly be working on our craft. And so I have what I call these folders, maybe genre folders. I don't know if that's the right term for them, but the country folder, the country record, the rock and roll record, the pop duo, and, and whatever. And so with it's coming out of, or in the middle of, or starting to come out of the pandemic, I had some friends, again, because I used to host the house concert, right? And we tried to be a
Yeah.
home for sort of wayward bands and musicians. We had been a host at various times over the years for a band called Corey Grinder and the Playboy Scouts. These are some fellow
They're a kind of
Ohio.
swing band, Corey.
That's correct.
Or was
Very
that
traditional Texas Western swing band. Absolutely.
oh, yeah.
And so, and hard traveling guys, right? And we couldn't really, because of COVID, we couldn't really do a house concert and put any money in their pocket. But I had my country album of, my file full of country Western tunes. And so I suggested if, I could pay the guys to come into the studio for a few days in Austin, instead of doing a house concert. And so the guys came in and we put a day in the studio 2 years ago. Things were much looser last year, and they were on a full-fledged tour, but still were able to do 2 more days in the studio. And so
Nice.
I think we recorded 12 or 13 songs, and I think we settled on 10 of them. And then what we did is we peppered guys in from Austin then. So gentlemen like Michael O'Connor, who's backed people like Ray Wiley Hubbard and all sorts of folks, and Larry Wilson, who
You've got them all there in Austin.
they're all there, and so they're all on the record, right? And so it became something that was bigger than me. And so it kind of quickly turned into a band project. And so we're releasing the record under the name The Gringo Pistoleros, an homage to the great Tim Henderson. And the album is called the Rise of the Texas Alien, because that's me.
The Rise of the Texas
Alien.
That'll be you then.
That's
'Cause
me.
you're a
That's
Yankee.
right.
Yeah.
Damn Yankee.
So I have a story. Before we move on, I want to pick up on the on Corey as well, and I need to actually say that the second half of this show is coming back to Glasgow, and I was at the record launch for the wonderful Robin Adams at the Glad Cafe. God, it was Tuesday, so yeah, it was nearly a week ago. Yeah, and yeah, Wednesday it was. Anyway, I've been back in Scotland that long, and I recorded a couple of tracks, and I will have an interview with Robin coming up in the second half of the show. So if anybody's tuned in for that, it will be coming, guys. But at the moment, you're with me and Lazarus Nichols, who is in Austin, Texas. New album's coming. The Gringo Pistoleros. Do you know where the word gringo comes from? Scottish connection.
No.
Right.
No.
Here's the story. Right. It's the Alamo. We go back to the Alamo. Remember the Alamo and all that. Now, there was 4 Scotsmen killed at the Alamo, and I didn't realize that until I got down to San Antonio myself, and they've got a really respectful shrine for each of the nationalities that people that lost their life from every nationality. England, saddest of all, part of the memorial. England, Scotland, Wales as well, and a few from Ireland too. So there was 4 Scots, and amongst them there was a piper called. He was a McGregor, and I can't remember his first name. He and Davy Crockett used to jam at night on the battlements. Davy Crockett was a fiddle player, of course, a very good fiddle player, I'm told. And they used to jam in the battlements to try and drown out the Mexicans who were, of course, in siege all around. They were singing Mexican songs and around the barbecues or whatever at night, and they always used to finish with the Robbie Burns song "Green Grows the Rashes O," and that's where the word gringo comes from. It says that's some damn gringo singing again. Green goes the rashes. Great.
That's awesome.
It's a great story. Yeah,
that is a great story.
I got that from another McGregor who's a famous Scot, and hopefully you'll meet Bruce as well. Famous Scots fiddler, and he was asked to go and trace that story back to the Alamo by the BBC and did a 4 or 5 part BBC radio show around the Scots that lost their life at the Alamo. So there we are. So I didn't lose too many of the audience. You are still with us here at I'm in my hometown of Nairn, and Laz is where exactly are you? You're just north of Austin.
So
now,
I'm in a town called Bertram. So Bertram is what they call the gateway to hill country.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful up there. So you're near Bee Cave and all that.
Actually, we're on the north side of the river, so that would be on the south side of the river. So we're in an interesting spot. You head into the hill country. So the town's been around since the 1830s. There's the Globe Theater, which I think was founded in 1850, is still open today and still having live shows. And so it's a strange little town.
So that's named after the Shakespeare's own theatre in London, I would have thought.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. Looks just like it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Need to go to a gig when we get over there again.
Absolutely.
So the studio, was that in Austin that you recorded the album?
Absolutely. So it's Signal Hill Studios. The guy that's engineer and what's become honestly the end of. So my first solo record, I had a good friend of mine, Chris Brown, is who produced it. This second time around, I kind of felt like I wanted to produce. There's no producer. What ended up happening was Patrick Hersfeld, who owns and runs the board at Signal Hill Studio, and we kind of hit it off, and I think very quickly the album kind of built its own aesthetic, if that makes sense. It almost edited itself, and so Patrick and I kind of put the thing together, and honestly, we mixed it in one day, and we're just kind of waiting to launch it out here, get a couple of videos to help promote it. We'll see. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Very easy. The Corey Grinder Band are some of the most talented young men. So when you hear things like the pedal steel,
tell me more about Corey. He's not Austin guy.
No, Corey is Corey. I met Corey. So right, I'm from Ohio, and so I started Kent State University, which is a little southeast of Cleveland. East of Akron, Ohio. It's kind of nestled, rural, kind of a small town. Not much there except for the university. Famous, right? That Kent State. That's what we're talking about, where the shootings were, Fort Head, Ohio. And and so I met him when he was a teenager, maybe. He was in a band called Grandpa Johnny and the Apple Stompers. And they were a jug band of these teenagers that played on the corner of the streets. While all the college kids would go in and out of the bars at night, these guys were busking, playing bluegrass music. And Corey he's a world-class violinist. He'd call himself a fiddle player, but he's just as talented on the piano and the guitar. And he has put together an unbelievable band of amazing young men, and they are just touring the country, playing Texas swing, and they're doing a really good job of it. They were finalists as the honkiest tonkest band of the year at the Ameripolitan Awards. They got to spend a week at Graceland with that whole crew, and so they're very much up and comers.
That's a seriously growing thing, the Countrypolitan. And that's high accolade to be in that echelon for sure. Well done him.
Absolutely, they even had him present a few awards. So he's very much a part of that, as he should be. He's absolutely unbelievably talented. I consider myself really lucky to know the kid, to be honest with you. And he's made me sound really good. He and his cohorts, his band of brothers, these guys made old Laz sound all right.
So. He needs to come.
Yes,
he needs to come, and
he'll be there.
He is.
Yes,
wow.
Absolutely.
Well, he needs to come, and I'll put him in the company of some of the fiddlers that the tradition because much of the Texas tradition started in in Scotland anyway.
Well, and
We've got
he's you know, he's from Appalachia, you know what I mean? So this is a kid who grew up,
Okay.
you know, and so he's
Yeah.
used to playing legit.
So
Yeah,
you'll know all of that.
very much so. And my guess is he knows some Keeley music and has learned a few
Yeah.
jigs and you know along the way. But I'm sure he's a very humble young man. I'm sure he'd be very happy to sit at the feet of some elders and learn a few things.
That's one of the privileges and pleasures of my life that I've been able to do quite a lot of, and that is to bring traditional American musicians into the company of traditional Scottish musicians. And what tends to happen is they hear the language straight away, and they'll finish the tune, and one of them will say, "What's the name of that song?" And the Americans will say something like "The Jug of Whiskey," and the Scots will say, "No, that's Macpherson's Return." It's the same tune. It's just a different time signature and swing, and sometimes their fiddle tunes played on guitar. But if he's a fiddler, he's going to fall into the right company here, particularly at belly drum as well. Lads, can't wait. Really, really, let's do what we can to make that all happen.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So that's Lazarus Nichols, and he is going to play us another song out. But as I was saying, hang there. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to do it with Robin Adams. Let you hear some of Robin.
Yeah.
And then we'll get a song from you. Then I'll feed in Robin's interview from the Glad Cafe that we did beforehand. That'll let you get away because I know you've got another appointment, and I thank you for taking the time out of your day to do this for us today. Thanks for spending your evening with us as well. It's always a privilege.
My treat.
Folks, come along and enjoy their time. You could be doing 1,000 other things these days, eh? So this is and it was the last week.
Now is aware
Very
of the
nice.
absolute fucking chaos that is my process, my creative process. Shambolic to say the least. So, we're now going to introduce to the stage the sexy boys. What were they called again? Sexy boys and this could be awkward. Gang of attractive musical hooligans. Sexy boy 1. Okay, this song's somebody, this is the point where I end up paint. Any chance you can get a wee pint of Guinness?
There's some non-alcoholic states at the back. Rising us.
Tiny wee bit more guitar. This one is called Hit the Ground Running. I'm going to also introduce Campbell. Mr. Campbell, the sax man. Oh, he's ran off to get his sax. He's saxy boy. Come on, sexy boy.
So I should have played that before I put it on air, shouldn't I? That was the sound check, pretty much. So I'm gonna have to when I'm playing the interview, I am actually gonna have to upload the proper bit of film, which I have got handy. So thank you. Sorry for that, and thanks for your patience. We will be getting back to Robin Adam at some point, but let's bring Laz in again this evening.
Right.
The stuff that you're coming up with Corey. I think it's a great move for you.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's going to kick ass. This.
It is a fun. It's a lot of fun. It's very much classic country. I mean, we try to maybe touch on. It's funny. We take you to different places in Texas, and the music changes. Texas, West Texas, that's the sound of Chuck Hawthorne and Lyle Lovett. You get to Austin and it's different. It gets richer and it's and there's generations of it. And you get to the Gulf Coast, and the Gulf Coast is different. And Houston has that bluesy feel. And so you can stay within the confines of Texas, and it can all be country music, right? But it's different at the same time.
Louisiana bleeds up into the south as well. It is. You can feel that as you travel around.
Well, and then you add obviously the Mexican, the Mexican, the conjunto music, and the conjunto more than the mariachi, but the conjunto influence on Texas music is profound, right? And it could be the niftiest of sort of the fusion, I think, that we see in the state.
And you cut in the German polkas and all that sort of stuff, and you've got like Texas swing, haven't you?
You sure do, which is alive and well and just doing amazingly well here in Texas.
Can't wait. I'm actually, my heart is fluttering just thinking about it, and can't wait.
Well, yeah.
Looking forward to hearing music. I shall keep everybody here on iMtv up to date, and we shall start promoting the dates as soon as we've got some, and we'll be using this facility to bring your videos to the world as well. So thanks, everybody. Stay tuned with iMtv for all of that, and let's ask Laz what's the song you see us out?
All right, so speaking of that West, so this is that thinking of maybe that Gulf Coast. So lucky enough, and I know he died a few years ago. I was lucky enough to meet the great Richard Dobson and kind of become pals. And he has an album that he did, right, and it actually was released posthumously called I Hear Singing, which could be, some of the, it's hard to go, hey, what's, the top 5 of the greatest Texas songwriter albums of all time, but that is an unbelievable album. Miss Richard Dobson horribly. And so maybe we'll do a little Richard Dobson too and try and not screw it up. Dragonfly lights on the pine. See it now, and then it's gone. Nothing stirring, nothing round. Summer, it did heat this town. Black bass lurking in the weeds. He's got everything he needs. About the time the sun goes down, he'll be looking to make his rounds. Peter was a fisherman, I'm a fisherman's son. Glory, hallelujah, a fishing son of a gun. Errand boys with dagger blades, frogs and minnows, all his trees. Me, I've got a fishing pole. Can I share your fishing hole? You know that Peter was a fisherman, I'm a fisherman's son. Glory, hallelujah, I'm a fishing son of a gun.
a fisherman's son. Glory, hallelujah, I'm a fishing son of a gun. Just fishing for some fun.
All right. Fishing son of a gun.
So yeah, it seems to be freezing up this end. So if we do lose contact, I will reboot and bring the whole Sharabang back to life again, hopefully. So please do stay with us. Laz, I realise you've got to get on to do all sorts of stuff. I've trying to load this Robin Adams song, and it is being a fanny and not doing it. So let me just see if I can bring that to life.
I think it's on.
This
It just came on, Rob.
did it?
Yep, I'm seeing it.
It's not doing it this end. Seems to be. You know what I'm going to do? Laz,
Yes.
would you do me a favor?
Sure.
Could you do us another
Stay on.
song, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Do us another song. Thanks for this, Laz. True flow.
Well, Rob, it's but it's
you
on.
can-
It's playing. We can hear it.
It's playing.
Yeah. Oh, now it's
Okay,
gone.
well,
Now it's gone.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I'll
I've
do one more
muted
time.
that.
I'll do another song.
Do one more song, and then I'll read.
Absolutely. So Rob's gonna keep going. Rob's gonna do a little work on the back end, folks. I'm gonna be happy here. It's about that time. It's that loungy time here in the evening, I suppose. Wherever you may or may not be.
All right, back in a minute.
Rob will be back in a minute.
They sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. She looked at him and he felt a spark tingle to his bones. Then he felt alone, wishing he'd gone straight. No time for that simple twist of fate. They walked along by the old canal, a little confused, I remember well. Stopped into a strange motel with a neon burning bright, where she felt the heat of the night hitting like a freight train, moving with a simple twist of fate. The saxophone someplace far off played. She walked along by the arcade as the light buzzed through beat up shade. He was waking up. She tossed a coin into the cup of a blind man at the gate, and forgot about a simple twist of fate. He woke up, the room was bare. He didn't see her anywhere. He told himself he didn't care. the window open wide. He felt an emptiness inside. She just cannot relate. Brought on by simple twist of fate. Well, he is the taking of the clouds. He walks along with a parrot that talks. Hunts it down by the waterfront docks where the sailors, they all come in. Maybe she'll pick him out again. But how long must he wait? One more time for a simple twist of fate. Well, people tell me it's a sin to know and feel too much within. I still believe she was my twin. I lost the ring. She was born in spring, and I was born too late. Blame it all, the simple twist of fate. Oh, blame it all on the simple twist of fate.
Very cool.
All right, we could. Just the perfect amount of time.
I love that song. That's Lazarus Nichols streaming in from the Hill Country in Texas, and can't wait to get back out there. It must be nice this time of year.
Absolutely beautiful. The blue bonnets are they've peaked a week ago, and just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Well, love your part of the world. Love the music, of course, and can't wait to bring some of that music to the Highlands of Scotland this year. Thanks for your help with that. Thanks for your help with this this whole evening. I think we've got we can go to Robin Adams in the Glad Cafe if the creek don't rise, and the good Lord's willing. We'll give it a go in just a minute. Just while we're on the subject, there are ways to help out with the stream and all the music. All the money goes to helping me help the music that we love. Please do use the QR codes, or you can get to a PayPal button on the page that you're viewing on. All likes and shares are very much appreciated as well. If you enjoyed this and you share it, it'll bring more people into the page, and the more that do, the more will view these shows. We're here every Monday, and we pop up from time to time with other events during the week. Tomorrow we're at the Ardessia Folk Club, Lazarus. This is synchronicity extraordinary. You know, sometimes it works for you when you're on the road, sometimes it works counterproductive on the road. I've just come back from Ireland, and one of my to-do things in Ireland was to go and find Anthony Toner, who had met at Folk Alliance. He came over with Ralph McLean, who's my favourite radio show on the BBC, Ralph McLean Radio Ulster. And I'd noticed that he was doing a whole tour in Ireland. So I thought, well, you know, if I'm anywhere near an Anthony Toner show, I'm going to go and check him out, and we'll get him on the medicine show as well in the Moose. And it didn't work out. It was like he was either in the east, I was in the west, or he was up north. He's a Belfast boy, or I was down in the beautiful South Cork or whatever. But we kept in touch and gave up on it eventually. And on the way here, back home here last week, I got a Facebook notice, and thank goodness for Facebook for this sort of thing. Anthony Tona tomorrow night is playing in our folk club in Ardisia, my home folk club. So
great.
it's all arranged. I'm going to go along. I've got a ticket ready for me. I'm going to go along and catch up with Anthony Tona, and we will have a pop-up medicine show if we possibly can in the break when the sound check's all done. Because I've got a nice little spot at that folk club that I just park the Moose up anyway, whenever it's on every Tuesday. It's a thing to do. It's a great club. And they've got Anthony Tona there. So if you're in the Nairn area or anywhere in the Highlands, make the effort, guys. Honestly, get along to see Anthony Tona tomorrow. He's helping to support a great folk club, and the folk club are helping to support a great singer-songwriter, keeping them on the road. So we're all back to work, Laz. Have you been doing any live gigs?
Oh yeah. No, yeah. So I play I play here at a local Irish pub on a regular basis. Because I play the keyboards, I can kind of gig as much or as little as I want. There's this really awesome. They're a rock and roll band here based in Austin, Texas, called the Deja Vibes, and it's a 5-piece, absolute sort of rock and roll insanity in all the good way. And I'm the second keyboardist, and so I have the opportunity to play with those guys, and it's hard. They're the hardest gigging band in Austin right now. These guys play 4 or 5 days a week, up and down Congress, First Street. They'll come and play your bar mitzvah. Whatever, wherever.
Yeah, seriously, you can find a live gig in Austin at any time of the day, can't you? You can
Absolutely.
Any time of the day. It's 24-hour, 7 days a week city, and all your heroes. I mean, all your heroes are out there playing for tips, and which is sad in itself. But they're out there getting regular gigs and getting the music out there, and there's audiences showing up for them. How are the audiences in Austin? Are they showing up?
Actually, I was just I feel like I was just thinking that, I think music's kind of, we're full blown. I think, however long you could say it's taken since the pandemic, I just by the amount of sort of folks who are on the road, national touring acts that are kind of coming in, local acts that are gigging, guys that are getting back on the road that were a little reticent. As an example, I know Chuck Hawthorne has his first post-COVID show April 16th.
No way.
April 16th at the Devil's Backbone in Fisher, Texas.
That's right.
But
so he is.
Yeah.
I noticed that the Devil's Backbone, where the Fisher Fest is, we got held up there on the Stravaig. The weekend that the festival was on, and Chuck Hawthorne, bless his heart, took his traveling garage equipment all the way down and replaced an alternator for us in 2 or 3 hours. Pit stop at the Devil's Backbone. That's one of the and that's just a fabulous venue.
I would argue it's very iconically that's real Texas right there.
Yeah, that's a honky tonk right there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Roadside honky tonk. Yes. So cool. Well, I must drop Chuck a line and wish him well with that, and hopefully we'll see him in Texas as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Laz. Thank around
you.
for Robin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring in Robin. If you got to take off, that's fine. We'll catch you on that Facebook Messenger thing anyway. But let's keep in touch about these dates and
Absolutely.
make all that.
Will do.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Rainbow, for the kind words. Thank you.
That's very so. Okay, let's flash up. We can flash that up. Rainbows there, lovely. That was lovely. And we also 1 or 2 other friends who have dropped in. Let me just play Robin Adams, and then we'll get back to saying hello.
sorrow, my defenses have been stripped, and below me the promise of tomorrow is loosening my grip. From the haze of plain conviction, I am falling through it all. At the speed of truth's afflictions, with no lies to break my fall. Thank you very much.
Marvelous gig, and that is the wonderful Robin Adams in the best of company the other night, last Wednesday, for the launch of his brand new album, his 7th album, as well as all the work with his parents' iconic band, taking his father's part these days in String Driven Thing, who were, for our American, our worldwide viewers, they were one of Scotland's biggest bands in the 70s, festival toppers, all that sort of thing. And Robin does his best to keep that alive with the original musicians, with the band as well. Now, I'm going to come back with an interview, and we touch on all of that and the new album in just a minute. I will have to load it up, and there is always a chance that we lose the feed. I've also got a couple of things that I need to talk to you about, and if I can get rid of that graphic, you can see this graphic. No, not get rid of that graphic. It's the other graphic to get rid of. So yeah, well-oiled machine and everything. I'm going to talk about Tom Mason in just a minute, so that will help me get rid of the graphic. MMSS is mobile studio and stage, and I had the idea to do I've had the dream for a while anyway, but I had the idea to start fundraising for this. I'm giving ourselves a year to raise the funds. It's up and running, and we've had some contributions already, and I thank everybody for those contributions so far. The idea is we build a replica of Ronnie Lane's mobile studio. He had the very first mobile studio back in the 70s in an Airstream caravan. So to be streaming from an Airstream caravan is a dream in itself. Anyway, I met somebody in Wales, told him about the idea, and he imports Airstream caravans. Not only that, but he also builds them mostly for food outlets. So I said, well, this one's going to have a stage. He said, yeah, we can do that. We'll have a pull-out stage, and an awning on top of it. And I'm like, whoa, I want that to happen so bad. So I've putting that out to our viewers and listeners and supporters and all our family fold of musicians. Lazarus has said that he's going to do a fundraising gig for us in a whiskey distillery in Texas, which I need to get to don't have to, but it would be nice if I could. He says that they might actually fund some Scottish musicians over as well. So stay tuned for that. That's an exciting thing that's happened this very evening. The fact is, we're putting that out to the universe and out to our listeners. And these days we have in the region of 30,000 followers to all the pages. We are broadcasting to 19 different social media outlets tonight. Sometimes that gets up to 24, 25, depending on who shares this feed on their page. Let me know if you would like to do that for us. That would be wonderful. I can send you a link for any of the shows that are coming. I'd be delighted to do that. Now I'll put up the information on the funding. It's pretty much GoFundMe, Moose Mobile will find it. There again, on the page that you're viewing from, you will get a link through to that. And as I say, any funding that, any money you could throw in that hat would be very much appreciated. We're trying to raise 30 grand, which sounds like a lot of money. It is, but it doesn't sound like a lot of money to achieve what we're trying to achieve. And it sounds less money if we say everybody that views one of these broadcasts or follows one of these pages was just put £1 in, just a pound. That would pay for it. Just £1 would pay for it. So if somebody throws £5 in, that's 4 people that don't have to So you'd be doing something even better if you threw a fiver in. The folks that have thrown money in have been very generous so far, so I do appreciate it. That's what we are trying to do. The other thing that is coming up, apart from Anthony Toner tomorrow, Tom Mason is on tour. Tom Mason is the Blue Buccaneer. He comes from Nashville and is a card-carrying thespian actor, as well as a bona fide pirate. Plays all the pirate festivals and is going to be here for the Conway Pirate Festival around about the time that they're crowning a king or something that weekend. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be at a pirate festival that weekend, which is a particularly nice thing to be doing. Then we have gigs in Llanfachlin, who are good friends of ours and helped me out no end on this tour in Powys. And it is actually Llanfachlin that the aforementioned fella who would build us the MMSS lives. So it'd be nice to update him. And Percy Pigman, he's coming to Belladrum, is standing by ready to help with the fitting out of that vehicle. So again, with a little help from our friends, we can get things a long way. The Moose itself, hopefully we get another year out of it. I'm comfortable in this old van. I would hate it not to be used for what is being used just now. But again, I've got my eye on the reality of things. It's not going to last forever. So if we can get this whole rig together, that should take us into the next decade with a fair amount of confidence. So that's what we're trying to do. This is the Medicine Show. We do our very best to support independent artists worldwide. If you have a story that you would want some coverage, please do ping us a note and we'll get you on one of these Medicine shows. I'm going to bring in Robin's, looks like it's going to work. I'm going to bring in Robin's interview and then might play out with some Tom Mason if I can get the screen sharing to work. Again, thanks for joining us. This is a regular Monday. We are going over time a bit, but you know what? It isn't a scheduled event. And I've nothing else to do, and I'm sure you have. But if you would like to hang around for this interview with Robin Murray, I know Robin Murray, but it isn't Robin Adams. I'm going to get rid of this graphic. I'll give you that one just quickly, which Tom's graphics are great. He's going to be doing that pirate festival and added pirate all the other gigs. We've got gigs in Powys. We're going over to the Peak District. We've got a house concert in New York, which I'm really looking forward to. We've got 2 or 3 classic folk clubs, one in England, one in Scotland. We've got another house concert up here at the Crystal House, which will be the Highland Show along with Ardisia Folk Club, which I'm going to be at tomorrow. So there's a nice blend of venues. We're also going to be going to the wonderful radio rooms, which I did a special on last week. If you would like to see that, it's on the page that you're viewing from. You can pan down and view again at any time. Fabulous venue. We'll be there to start this tour off on the 5th of May, and then we're all the way through to around about the 20th, doing 2 festivals and in Scotland, both on the same day. We are kicking off the Saturday at March in the Pitlochry, which is the loveliest little festival, and we have input there every year. Medicine Show is there again on Saturday the 20th. Then we're hightailing over to a festival I was at last year as well, the inaugural one last year. Again, a community festival in the Crags near Straven, and we'll be on at 6 p.m. on the 20th, and that'll be our last show. That might not be, actually. I think we might have one in Perth that's going to come in. Stay tuned for updates on Tom Mason's tour. Stay tuned for a video of Tom Mason, and again, thank you for spending your evening with us. I shall be back in just a minute, if this works, with Robin Adams at the
coming. So we're in the Glad Cafe, which is basically the hub in Glasgow for acoustic. It's a listening room venue. It's very nice.
Yeah,
nicely set up. Got Robin Adams, and just nice to be here on such an auspicious day. You're releasing a new album.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Today.
Sun Behind the Storm.
Sun Behind the Storm.
Yeah.
How long's this been in the making, Robin?
So I wrote that song back in like 2012.
Right, so we're talking over the COVID, it's been gestating.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I kind of sat on that song for a long time because I started writing in a different vein.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really suiting anything else I was writing. So since writing that, I've recorded and released a lot of records.
Yeah.
And this just kind of sat on the back burner. I was waiting for a kind of collection to come together naturally. And finally it seemed to come to fruition, so it's coming out now. 8 songs.
Right. 8 songs on the record. Videos out yet? I've noticed
I'm
you've
not
been
one for
posting
music
that.
videos, but I released a little performance video of one of the songs, Sweet Sternidae.
Yeah.
And Graham Smith from String Driven Thing played on that one.
I was going to ask her about String Driven Thing as well, whether they're keeping that all going. But let's concentrate on the album just now.
Yep.
Fabulous lineup of musicians. I've just been in on the sound check. Are those guys mostly involved in the album as well?
Pete Harvey, the guy who's playing cello,
Yeah.
he's on it. And apart from that, nobody else. This is what happens here.
It does,
I record an album, and then I'll organise the launch and get a band together. And then I always think I should have got this band together for the actual record.
And the original.
It's a recurring-
it is a lovely
recurring
band.
theme.
You've got Nick, and tonight you've got a lot of support.
Yeah.
Actual physical support, as well as 2 support artists working,
Yeah.
and they're in the band as well. So it's
They are, yeah.
it's kind of like a family, Robin, is it?
Yeah, it's really nice. It's nice. I've been kind of playing gigs with Nichy for a few years, and we've just been hanging out, and we got a lot in common musically and as friends.
As people,
Pippa, I discovered her music when I was doing a little festival called Mungari Fest, and it was just down this little lane in the West End.
Your voice
And I
is
heard her
playing
play,
beautifully.
and her singing voice. It was our first gig. And her singing voice really knocked me out.
So we'll I'll play something from the concert right after the interview here. I'll talk to Nicky. He's sound checking as well. We'll get something from Nicky, and I'm looking forward to. Actually, well, I've just met Pippa, but I'm looking forward to hearing her music as well.
Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy her.
So thanks for the invitation. Talking of family, string-driven thing, is it still a string-driven thing? Because you were keeping it going for a while there, weren't you?
Now and again I get in touch with Andy Allen, bass player, and George Tucker. George actually played with me my last album launch for The Wrong Road Home. And it was really nice to have George on stage playing with me. Unfortunately, Dick Drake has hurt his Achilles heel, so he can no longer play drums. So we wouldn't be able to get the full band back together, which is really sad.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, but I would love to get playing with Andy and George for sure, because I just love playing with them and get them into my kitchen and see what happens. You know, I still play a lot of string-driven things songs.
You got the songs there anyway. Yeah.
I'll be playing Travelling tonight.
Excellent.
So I always include one string-driven thing song in my set.
Well, you have to. I mean, it's so much of your family and your childhood. I imagine you would have. Without going too deep into it, you would have been using a guitar for a crib, guitar case for a crib, really.
Totally, man.
You were backstage, yeah.
Yeah, I brought the old string-driven thing guitar case. I guess you saw it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Lovely. Well, thanks for all of that. Thanks for inviting me to this. Looking forward to the show. Good luck with the release. We'll do what we can to get the word out about it. And yeah, lovely. Lovely to find you in such good company and such a nice place. That's Robin Adams here in Glasgow at the Glad Cafe, and plenty of music coming up here on the Monday Night Medicine Show with Rob Allen. Thank you very much.
So yeah, nice to catch up with Robin, and lovely fella, and as I was saying, in great company. You know, him. I also recorded another song which I will have to play at another time from his set. I also recorded a interview with a good friend of the Medicine Show, Nicky Murrays, a mutual friend with Robin, of course. Spent a lot of his time up here, cut his teeth in many ways in the Highlands of Scotland. Got a good start recording with Martin Stevenson near Tain, and plays a lot with Martin Stevenson of Dainty's fame as well. As I said, I've recorded an interview, so probably next Monday, Monday Night Medicine Show will be featuring Robin. That's where I'm getting it. It's Nicky Murrays, and that's where I'm getting mixed up. Nicky Murrays next week, and we'll have another track from Robin and Nicky's set from the Glad Cafe. This time next week, same time next week, same click of the mess. I'll have more information, no doubt, on the swashbuckling Stravig, which isn't easy for me to say, that we're setting off with Tom Mason, the Blue Buccaneer, in May. So we're gearing up for all of that. And as I was saying, Anthony Toner tomorrow, which is just so exciting, at the Ardisia Folk Club. So join us for that. Stay tuned. Please do follow the Moose page, and I can put that up for you. Let's do that. Let's not forget to plug ourselves. There's the Medicine Show on the road.me. That will get you straight through to the hub page for iMtv, which is International Moose Television. If you like that page, you will get notifications when we do go live or whenever I post an event. And if you invite your friends too, more people will view it. Simple as that. We're trying to grow this thing to the point where it does seriously make a difference for independent music. And I do thank you for your help with all of that. Okay, we're going to go for the wind and the rain because there's plenty of that in Nairn this very evening. It's a wee bit colder than I've experienced for a few months. It caught me by surprise. Why it should have, I'm a Highlander originally, but I'm back in February. I've gone back a couple of months. It has to be said. Anyway, Nercasta Clut Tomé is it? That's the saying that goes down pretty well around here. Hopefully, it's going to be springtime here in Nairn before too long. The yellow's on the broom. It looks very beautiful and spring-like with all the trees and blossom and everything as well. So I'll be kicking around. I'll be doing my usual history blogs. I'm looking for stories I haven't covered actually in the Highlands. I'm sure that there'll be some coming along. So folks, I do thank you for liking and sharing those history blogs that we do as we go. I keep saying we in the double person because it's me in the van and spend a lot of time talking to myself in this van this evening. It wasn't. There was some friends and viewers in, so I do thank you for that. It's always easier when you know there's folks viewing it. Okay, so thanks again to Lazarus Nichols for his contribution to the harmony earlier on, for Robin Adams for inviting me to the Glad Cafe this week. I've got to thank Kusti for a great gig, and again, there's a nice pop-up session in the Moose with Kusti at Cumbernauld Theatre on the page that you're viewing on. If you haven't seen that, it's really special, as was the gig. It was sold out in the Cumbernauld Theatre. Was that Thursday or Friday? I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday, because I hightailed it up the road on Saturday for our good friends Steve and Clancy, Clancy's 60th birthday party. So I got wind of it. It was a surprise, not the fact that it was that Clancy was 60. It was certainly a surprise that we were all there, as was the just astounding Tomorrow band, who go by the name of if I can remember the name, James Brown Uzani as well. As the Tomorrow band, they're Hamish Stewart's backing band. Hamish of Pick Up the Pieces, the Average White Band. Those guys kick ass, and there is a couple of bits and pieces. I think those are on my homepage, so you can find my homepage, Rob Allen, please do. And this ripping version of Dixie Chicken. And I'm going to post Isaac doing Willing tomorrow as well. So plenty to keep your eye on there. We also had a nice afternoon yesterday with my good friend Dave Sharp of The Alarm fame, who had invited us to the Alarm conference in Clanbuckland. No, Clan. It was one of the clans. Jeez, they all meld into each other places. It will come to me as I talk. Anyway, I was at the Alarm conference. Last time I saw Dave Sharp was entertaining 2,000 solid Alarm fans. Clan Ludlow did come to me at that conference. It was equally, just fabulous to see him in the company of 10 or so of our friends on Sunday afternoon at the wonderful Havelock Hotel. Again, that's on my page. Although I'm going to get to the music in a minute, folks. Thanks for your patience. I didn't get the internet that these shows really require at the Havelock, and it is a bit mushy and fuzzy. And I didn't have a backup on that one, so I do apologize for that. It's still worth having a nose in, and if you don't know Dave Sharp, you should find out more about Dave Sharp. He's an amazing solo artist. Anyway, so we're going on to YouTube for this, and there's no avoiding, as you know very well, there's no avoiding YouTube. And we'll be straight into Tom Mason with The Wind and the Rain. It's old standard folk song. wonderful. Tom Mason and The Wind and the Rain. He, of course, is more than just a blue buccaneer. He is a songwriter in his own right and a recording artist to many as a sideman in Nashville. In his community there at the 5 Spot, a wonderful venue in East Nashville. Got to see David Onley, the late great David Onley, there when I was in East Nashville with the Moose the last time. Tom, highly regarded across the music world as well as the acting world. I think he played Johnny Cash in a traveling thespian theatre show. Recently, he did Shakespeare in the Park during the summer as well. So he is coming, picking up Mikey McLennan of Carloway's fame in Perth, and the two of them are going to be picking up a bass player, and they will be the Blue Buccaneers for the Conway Pirate Festival for 2 days. Also, I think Mikey will be coming along in a lot of the dates, as many as he possibly can. Also here in the Highlands and across the north of England as well. There's the dates coming up on your screen now. And that poster, if it isn't already, will be on all the pages that you are viewing this from. And so looking forward to that. Thanks for joining us this evening, guys. It's been nice to have you with us. There's been an audience all the way through as well, which is very encouraging. We're back here on a Monday, and as I said already, we are heading out on the Health and Happiness Tour, on the road with our good friend Tom Mason. Tom's going to help us with the MMSS appeal as well. We're going to do a benefit show for that on the tour in Clanbachlin at the Cross Keys. I think that's us. We'll play out with the theme music.